Hello everyone! So, for today, ang pag-uusapan natin is all about recipe and its measures. So, meron tong tinatawag na uses and limitations. So, kung paano mo siya gagamitin at ano yung magiging limitations ng tinatawag na mga recipes. Now, so when we talk about recipe and its uses, ang sabi natin dito, recipe is a set of instructions. So it provide a detailed steps for preparing a dish or a beverage. It is also widely used in cooking and baking. This one, a recipe is also a guide for both novice and experienced cooks. So even though you are not good enough, okay, so medyo hindi pa maganda o hindi pa marami yung alam mo sa kusina, so all you have to do is to get a recipe and this will be your guide. The same with experienced cooks or experienced chefs. So even though they are experienced, well experienced, so pag pumunta sila sa isang bagong establishment, tinitingnan nila kung ano yung mga recipes and they execute the dishes based on the recipes which are being provided by the company. So it is a guide for both novice and experienced cook. Another one, if we are going to talk about recipes, so recipes are written down and posted in books. So yung mga textbooks natin which is readily available. We have also magazines, we have also online postings. Meron tayong newspaper postings din. So minsan o noong mga panahon pa, so even though na recipes are being provided in books, so yung ibang mga writers nagpo-provide din sila ng mga recipes in newspapers, or this one is even passed through the generation with the families and or communities. So ito yung tinatawag nating heirloom recipe. So these heirloom recipes are very important because yung mga grandmother mo, yung mother mo, yung kanununuan mo is meron silang ginawang recipe and it's passed through generation. So ayun yung ginagamit natin. So ito yung mga uses ng what we call recipes nowadays. Another is kung pinag-usapan natin yung uses, we have also what we call limitations of the recipe. So limitations includes the following. So pag pinag-usapan natin yung recipe, ang recipe talaga is not 100% perfect. So hindi siya perfecto. So meron diyang mga lapses. So on the time that you are going to cook the food, the dishes, so meron tayong tinatawag na adjustments onto the recipe itself. Another form is what we call, another limitation rather, is what we call the ingredient varies in different areas. Situation, preparation, and cooking. So hindi sa lahat ng oras kung ano yung sinasabi dun sa recipe ay yun ang nabibili natin o yun ang nakukuha nating ingredient. The same with the preparation. So sometimes the equipment and the tools is not always perfectly being what they call synchronized with the recipe itself. So meron pa ring mga limitation when it comes to that. So hindi lahat perfect. Hindi lahat na for example na meron tayong recipe, susundin natin yung recipe, sometimes ay nagkakamali tayo because of this situation. Another is the most important thing, that instructions written in the recipe is not always correct. Okay, so sometimes you have to make adjustments. Sometimes you have to do your own thing. You have to do your judgment as well. So some situations like for example, I have done my recipe. Okay, so gumawa ako ng recipe ko, niluto ko siya, tapos i-share ko yung recipe na yon. So sometimes the results could be different. Okay, so iba kung paano ko siya gawin At magiging iba naman kapag ito ay iyong gagawin na. So, the instructions as well is not always correct. So, ayun yun. So, maaaring ang method ko ay parehas doon sa ginagawa natin, pero the results will vary and the results will be also different. So, hindi siya 100% perfect. Measures and units. So, when we talk about measures and units, so alam na natin yung uses niya, alam na natin yung limitations niya. Dapat sa recipe, malaman din natin kung ano yung tinatawag na measures and units. At ang measures and units ay mahalaga sa paggawa at pag-intindi ng recipe. And this includes the following. 1. Weight. So, dapat alam natin yung weight. Alam natin yung timbang. Weight is referred to all the dry ingredients na meron tayo. Another is what we call volume. Volume is more of what we call the liquid forms of the recipes itself. And last but not the least is what we call the count. How many numbers, how many portions are there in the recipes? So, ito yung mga measures and unit na kailangan na malaman ng isang tao na bumabasa dun sa recipe itself. Next thing na kailangan malaman din ng the person who is reading the recipe or is following the recipe is what actually is the AP and EP weights. So, AP and EP weights in terms of the weight itself and in terms of the volume. Pag sinabi nating AP, AP is what we called as purchase. Ito yung, halimbawa, kailangan natin ng carrot sa recipe and bumili tayo sa market ng carrot. So, yung carrot na yon, meron yung balat, meron yung tangkay pa. Okay? So, that is what we call just as purchase. Ito yung talagang binili mo sa market itself. Now, when you look onto the recipe, you saw there 300 grams of carrots slice o julienne of carrots. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, that is the edible portion of the recipe. So, kung yung edible portion na yon is 300 grams of julienne carrots, meaning, ayun ay balat na, ayun ay nahugasan na, at ayun ay nakat na. So, if you are going to look onto the recipe itself, kunyari, it requires 300 grams of carrots, hindi ka bibili ng eksaktong 300 grams of carrots. So, ibig sabihin, bibili ka ng more than the 300 grams of carrot. Kasi, that is what we call as purchase. So, ito yung laging mali ng mga estudyante, especially if they are looking onto the recipe. So, nakakita sila ng 300 grams, 300 grams din yung bibilhin nila. So, they are going to purchase 300 grams. But basically, that is wrong. So, what you are going to do is to buy more than the 300 grams kasi magbabalat ka pa. It's only the as purchase. Okay? So, sa pagtiningnan natin ng recipe, the recipe itself is more of the edible portion and not the as purchase weights or volume of the ingredients. So, lagi niyong tatandaan yan. The AP and the EP weights. Portion control. So, when it comes to the recipe itself, meron tayong tinatawag na yield. So, the yield is the total numbers or the total portion of the recipe. So, for example, meron tayong cashew banana bread, for example. So, ilan yung magagawa mong cashew banana bread doon? So, maaring ito ay makagawa ka ng 3 loaves, 2 loaves, or even more. So, kailangan malaman natin yung yield or yung portion control ng isang recipe. So, when it comes to the portion control ng recipe or the yield control ng recipe, meron tayong mga count, na tinatawag. So, ilang piraso, ilang numbers. So, that is what we call count. Meron tayong tinatawag na weight. For example, 300 grams ba each weight? O 200 grams ba each weight of the recipe? So, kapag naluto mo na yung recipe itself, ilang portion ba ang gagawin mo? 200 grams ba yan each? 100 grams ba yan each? Next is what we call volume. So, ilan? Ilang ml ba yan? Ilang liters? For example, you are dealing with the soup. So, ilan yon? Another is even division. Pag sinabing even division, gumawa ka ng brownies. Ilang cut, ilang slices, o ilang square ng brownies ang magagawa mo sa isang food tray, sa isang food pan. So, ayun yan. And last is what we call standard fill. For example, meron ka isang stock pot ng soup. So, how many cups of soup ang mabubuo o masaserve mo doon sa isang stock pot ng recipe na yon? So, ang tinatawag doon is standard fill. So, gagamit ka ng isang cup of soup, okay? O yung soup cup, okay? Kuha ka ng cup. So, yun ang magiging basihan mo kung ilan yung standard fill, kung ilang piraso, ilang count ng soup ang magagawa mo. So, laging tandaan, ang recipe, nakasalalay din dyan ang tinatawag na portion control o yield control. Yan. And another in the recipe is what we call the unit of measures. So, when it comes to unit of measures, so this is the commonly used. So, meron tayong tinatawag. Ang commonly used na measure natin is US metric. So, ito yon. So, we have kilograms. Ito yung mga kilala natin. Grams, liter, and milliliters. So, most of the establishment are using this kind of unit of measures. So, kilograms, grams, liter, and milliliter. So, they are trying to convert everything in this unit of measure kasi when they are not converting it to the same unit of measure, so doon nagkakamali. So kailangan, pag-aaralan natin yung sa ibang mga video lesson natin, pag-aaralan natin yung tinatawag na conversion tables and how you are going to quantify the recipe. For example, meron kang recipe na good for 4, gagawin mo siyang 100, gagawin mo siyang 1,000. So, how are you going to convert those unit of measure? Pero meron nga, sabi natin, meron tayong 4 commonly used unit of measures. So, these are kilograms, the grams, the liter, and the milliliter. The conversion table. Okay. So, one of the most important thing then is what we call the conversion table. So, sabi ko nga kanina, it's more of what we call the US metric. So, ito yung isang conversion table na madaling maintindihan ng estudyante that if they are going to convert a recipe, they are just going to look onto this. Okay? Look onto this table. And, of course, may iwasan mo na yung mga magko-compute ka pa na magko-compute. All you have to do is to look onto the table and convert the unit of measures to the desired amount of the ingredients. So, ito yun. And desired unit of measures. So, on the left side, so makikita nyo doon, nandito yung kanyang unit and ano ang tawag sa kanya. So, for example, yung small t, anong tawag sa kanya? So, that's what we call teaspoon. Yung capital letter T, so that's what we call tablespoon. Yung capital letter C, so that's what we call cup. Yung OZ na tinatawag is ounces. And the LB is the pound. The kg is the kilogram. The grams is, of course, the grams. The GMS. The L, the capital letter L, is what we call the liter. The ml is milliliter. The PT is the pint. The GAL or the gal is the gallons. And the QT is what we call the quarts. So, kapag nakakita ka sa recipe mo ng mga ganitong unit of measures, So, para hindi ka mahirapan, kasi most of the time we are using the US metric. So, all you have to do is to look onto the conversion table. And ito yung conversion table na tinatawag natin. So, mas madali nating maintindihan, mas madali nating i-convert yung mga unit of measures and quantity itself. Yan. So, sa mga susunod na araw or sa susunod na presentation, so all I have to do is to show you and to present to you on how we are going to compute or quantify the recipe itself. So, meron akong ginawang system. So, all you have to do is to input the details, then basically it will convert all the recipes by its quantifiable numbers. So, para makuha natin yung total yield niya, yung total amount niya, then of course, pag-uusapan natin yung presyo. So, what could be, okay, the selling price, what could be the taxes, and what could be the food cost percentage. So, pag-aaralan natin yan, and yun ay sa mga susunod na lesson. Next is what we call the types of recipes. So, alam na natin yung uses and limitations of the recipes. Alam na natin yung unit of measures. Alam na natin yung yield and count of the recipes. Alam na rin natin on how the recipes can be converted. And now, we are going to go with the types of recipes. And types of recipes includes the following. Pero, bago yun, kailangan malaman natin what is a standard recipe. Okay, so isa yan. Okay, so sa types of recipes natin, ang isa doon is what we call the standard recipe. Pero ano nga ba yung standard recipe? So, standard recipe, so they are sometimes called instructional recipes. So, why instructional? Kasi kapag nakita mo sa isang cookbook, sa isang textbook yung recipe, so parang tinuturuan ka ng recipe kung paano mo siya gagawin. So, nandoon yung tinatawag na procedures on how you are going to deal with it. Nandun yung quantity ng ingredients mo. Okay? And nandoon kung paano mo siya, step by step, kung paano mo siya gagawin. Okay? So, they are what we call instructional recipe. Next is, of course, they can be found in books, magazines, online videos, and etc. So, ito yung isa sa mga nabanggit ko kanina. Pero ano nga ba ang tinatawag na typical standard recipe format? Okay? And this includes the following. Of course, yung recipe name natin, the title of the recipe, and the picture of the recipe. So, mas maganda na merong picture lagi for you to visualize kung ano ba yung gagawin mo dun sa recipe, kung ano yung magiging output ng recipe na yon. So, that is the recipe name, the title of the recipe together with the picture. Another is what we call the quantity and the ingredients. So, nakasulat doon kung ilan yung quantity at kung anong ingredient. For example, 3 numbers or 3 whole eggs. So, nakalagay doon. So, that's the quantity, yung 3, and the ingredient itself, which is what we call the eggs. Another na inclusion niya is what we call the procedures. So, these are step-by-step procedures. So, what are the procedures? So, nakalagay din doon yung cooking times and temperatures. Okay, so paano mo siya lulutuin based on the procedure? What could be or how many hours, how many minutes, how many seconds you are going to cook it, and what could be the base temperature for it. For example, lulutuin mo siya sa oven. How many? 180 degrees ba siya? Celsius, 190 degrees, 220 degrees Celsius. So it depends. And last but not the least is what we call the number of servings. So kailangan may number of servings. So yung isang recipe, ilan yung magagawa niya. Ano yung yield niya? Is it good for 4? Good for 2? Good for 10? So, it depends. Okay? Pero, pag tiningnan natin kung ano yung standard recipe format, ito dapat ang kanyang mga inclusion. Nakuha? So, recipe name or the title of the recipe, the picture, the quantity and the ingredient, the procedure, cooking times and temperature, and of course, the number of servings. So, what could be the example? So, this is one of the example. So, gumawa tayo dito ng example. So, ang example natin, the name of the recipe is the cashew banana bread. So, may picture tayo dyan. So, may quantity tayo, may measure or the unit of measure. Then, of course, we have the ingredients. So, followed by the procedure. So, meron tayong series of procedures, series of step-by-step procedure. And of course, dun sa procedure natin, merong cooking times and temperature. So, how are you going to cook the recipe itself? Then, of course, katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, so what could be the number of servings of the recipe? So, in this recipe, it makes 4 slices or 1 loaf. So, for example, so ito yung example natin ng tinatawag na standard recipe. Another types of recipe is what we call the standardized recipe. So, iba yung standard recipe. Iba yung standardized recipe. Pag sinabi nating standardized recipe is a custom-made recipe. Okay? A custom-made recipe is designed by hotels, restaurants, and other food producers for its operations. So, talagang custom-made para sa kanya talaga yung recipe na yun. Ang kagandahan ng recipe na to is meron siyang costing presented together with the inclusion of the standard recipe itself. So, nagkakaroon na tayo ng costing. So, that's why costing is important in our next lesson. And, magkakaroon tayo ng exercise when it comes to the costing itself just to present kung ano ba talaga yung tinatawag na standardized recipe. So, ito yung example ng standardized recipe. So, makikita nyo dito, nandun ulit yung name ng recipe, the title of the recipe, the portion, kung ilan ba siya, kung ilan ba yung yield niya, yung ingredients natin. So, makikita nyo na dyan yung ingredients natin. Yung edible portion, tsaka yung as purchased. Okay? Yung, dito mo na malalaman what could be the market price. Okay? So, kukunin mo, gagawa ka muna ng market list. Magkano ba yung price nito? Okay? Para makuha mo yung price ng edible portion. So, nagkakaroon na tayo ng tinatawag na unit cost. Nagkakaroon tayo ng extension cost. Then, all we have to do is to compute all those details para makuha yung total raw cost natin. So, meron tayong lesson on how we are going to deal with this quantity food production na tinatawag or quantifying the recipe. So, if we get the total raw cost, of course, meron din ang mga hotels and restaurants and any other food outlet or food producers, nagkakaroon sila ng tinatawag na mga contingency percentage kung ilan yun. So, dito sa example natin, meron tayong 10% contingency. So, kukunin natin yung 10% contingency and i-add natin dun sa raw cost natin. And meron tayong tinatawag na food cost percentage. So, what could be the standard food cost percentage? So, based on the text, based on the books, based on the normal hotel procedures and restaurant procedures, meron tayong tinatawag na 35% food cost. And this 35% food cost is being allotted to your, for example, yung labor mo, yung mga direct expenses mo. Of course, meron kang mga indirect expenses as well. So, ano yon? Yung utilities mo, yung rent mo, yung gas mo, yung any other expenses that is included dun sa food cost percentage na yan. Ikaw kasi ang de-determine. So what are the expenses for you to get that food cost percentage, or for you to divide all those food cost percentage. Pero yung standard natin is 35%, but nowadays because of price volatility and yung economic status natin, so minsan ang mga establishment ay gumagawa ng about 40% to 50% of the food cost ng kanilang mga food items. And another one, of course, is binibigyan din ng tinatawag na tax. Okay? So, naglalagay din tayo ng tax doon. And if you are a businessman, of course, yung tax na yon parang pinapasa mo din sa mga bibili ng food item mo. So, hindi lahat ng tax is binabayaran mo. Okay? So, sa atin, so meron tayong VAT, the value added tax, which is 12%. So, ayun yung ginagamit natin. Next is the price per serving. So, yung price per serving natin and the selling price itself. So, ayan siya. So, dito, so medyo may lapses lang ng konti dito, pero aayusin natin to. Pero in the point of view, so when you are going to look for a standardized recipe, so eto yon. So this is what we call the standardized recipe. Next is what we call a narrative recipe. When we say narrative recipe, it's more of what we call a storytelling recipe. So parang nagbabasa o nagbibigay ng story yung isang recipe na to. It is not basically used in operation, pero this recipe is more on publication, more on magazines, and more on newsprint. Ang kadahilanan nito is para ma-engage na magbasa yung mga readers ng isang publication, ng isang newspaper or ng isang magazine. Ang downside naman nito, it is hard to follow. It is hard to follow kasi you have to read all the recipe, or you have to read all the sentences and the paragraphs para malaman mo kung ano yung mga ingredients. And para malinaw, so tingnan natin yung example. So this is the example. So example, this one is the pancake. So it is in paragraph form. Then all you have to do is to read everything. Okay? So, i-read mo muna yung everything. Okay? Babasahin mo lahat. Tapos, saka mo identify isa-isa kung ano yung mga ingredients. Which is hard to follow kasi parang inuulit mo at bumabalik ka dun sa standard form. So, mas mahirap yung narrative form. So, it's more of the reader itself. So, parang ano lang siya. Parang, gusto ko lang magbasa ng recipe and ito yun. Okay? So, it is not being used in operations but rather than to entertain readers. Yan. Next is the action and descriptive recipe. When it comes to action and descriptive recipe, it is more concise and straightforward. So, walang paligoy-ligoy. Ito yung gagawin ko. Meron tayong clear step-by-step instruction when it comes to this recipe. Why? Because it is quick and an efficient guide. So, yung recipe na to, ang isa sa mga gusto ng mga kusinero. Kasi, wala na silang time para magbasa ng marami. So, all they have to do is to look straightforward. Okay? Kailangan nila ng straightforward instruction and straightforward na mga ingredients para dire-diretso yung trabaho nila because they have no time to read a lot. So, ang nangyayari, ang action and descriptive is more, it's more active. It's more participatory. It's more, it's more efficient for the chefs, for the cooks to understand the recipe itself. So, anong example nito? Ito po yan. Okay. So, ang example natin dito is carrot raisin cake. So, if you are going to look onto the recipe itself, so nakalagay na doon kung ano yung instruction. For example, measure and stir together. So, nandun lahat. Naka-cluster yung mga recipe mo, naka-cluster yung mga ingredients mo, at kung ano yung gagawin mo sa kanya. Ito, measure and stir together. So, ito yung mga ingredients na yan. Ano yan? Mga wheat flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. So, ayun lang. So, measure mo. After you measure, kuha ka ng isang bagay in a large bowl, beat together yung eggs mo, yung sugar. Okay? So, ang kagandahan nito, it is more detailed. Kung ano yung magkakasama, hindi ka maliligaw. Unlike doon sa, of course, yung narrative, babasahin mo lahat. Yung standard, ganun din. Pero dito, it is divided or it's being clustered kung ano ba talaga yung gagawin mo. You beat o you mix in a large bowl, tapos kunyari gagawa ka ng frosting, nakahiwala yung frosting. Kung gagawa ka ng measurement, kung gagawa ka ng baking procedure, so nakahiwalay siya. Then of course yung major procedure niya is meron pa rin sa baba. Yung temperature niya, yung serving sizes niya, so meron. And of course, yung name niya, yung title, and the picture itself is posted onto this action recipe. So, with all that, okay, so alam na natin lahat, yung recipe itself, uses and limitation, the measures, okay, and how you convert the quantity of the recipe will be on the next lesson together with the exercises. And of course, yung types of recipes natin. So, yung standard natin, yung differences niya sa standardized recipe, sa narrative recipe, and of course, and last but not the least, is the narrative and the action recipes and the descriptive recipes. With all, thank you so much and thank you for listening.